So we are good. I was about to say we are live. This is not live. It's never been live. Okay, time for the audio sync up. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy Snowdrift here, your friendly neighborhood Snowdrift, back at it again with another amazing video for you guys. Sorry about how flaky I've been as far as uploading videos are concerned. It's been a really busy time of the year for everybody, so I'm sure you guys will understand. So this is my 2019 year-end review, and I do these kind of around every Christmas. I actually made a post on Instagram saying that I would upload a video on Christmas Day. It didn't happen. I posted that almost as kind of like an autopilot type of post. I was doing it, almost not thinking. But I decided against doing it because I decided that you shouldn't be spending your day watching YouTube. And even though I'm a very small channel, I did not want to add to the Christmas uploads to where it would take you away from your family and other things that you would be doing. So I decided not to upload. So instead, I'm going to be uploading to this channel and my Fralix Arms channel today. If you're enjoying the Fralix Arms channel, I really do appreciate that. Don't have a ton of subscribers on there, but I almost enjoy the content that I put on there more than I put on this channel, because of just the lack of content I've been putting up on this channel, and also the production value. I feel like my production value should be going a lot higher, and that's why I'm recording on the big camera. I've got the mic going, all that good stuff, and I think I'm a little bit out of frame, but that'll be okay. So I really want to be able to put out some awesome videos for you guys. But I'm under the astute assumption that YouTube is never going to pay me for my videos, and even if they do, it's not going to be a lot. So I'm merely doing this for my own enjoyment, as most of you guys do, or don't, or as much as you guys know. So I say that a lot, and it really is just a fun hobby for me. I go back and watch my videos and I think, God, that guy's such a goof, because I am. So I try to be as real as I can on camera, but still some of my camera shyness comes out, as with most people. You break out a camera and a person you've known your whole life starts acting crazy, insane, and you're just like, what are you doing? So I'm trying to be as the real me as I can be. Anyway, I just wanted to go over everything that we've done this year. We have survived another year. So a quick recap, and I'm going to be putting in maybe some slices of videos here and there. Everything has been such a whirlwind starting in May. Oh yeah, that's what happened. So at the very end of 2018. I can't even believe I forgot about this, honestly. So at the beginning of at the end of 2018, coming into 2019, and I don't even know if I've told you guys about this. My wife had to be rushed to the hospital. What happened is that she had this immense pain in the back of her head. And she had been dealing with it for a long time, and then it got to the point to where it was just unbearable, and a lot of the pressure started to come in behind her eyes. So we went to the eye doctor, and they said the pressure in her left eye was really high, or it was in her right eye, or whatever eye, it doesn't matter. And she, we asked, hey, is that bad? And they go, no, that's not bad, as long as it's not in both eyes. Guess what? It was in both eyes. So they're like, you need to go to the hospital right now. And so she went to the hospital, and this sounds horrible, but if you knew my wife, it's really just who she is. Me and Nick went to a gun show after we got this new information. And I told her, I begged her, I was like, please let me drive you to the hospital. And she just refused. She was like, no, I don't want to ruin your day. You go. So we went to this gun show, and I couldn't even enjoy it. But she's just such a selfless person. Like, she doesn't want to take away from anybody. She doesn't want to ruin anyone's day. She would feel burdened if someone missed out on something because of her. And you know, I love her for that, but also just despise her because of that too. But you know, I went to the gun show, and you know, we were already basically there, and so we went for a few minutes, and then Nick brought me back to the hospital. Long story short, we ended up having to go up to Nashville. I'm just going to say Nashville. So they checked everything, and we were there for a couple days. But what got us some results was they did a spinal tap. And so what we originally thought, or what the doctors originally thought, was that she had a brain tumor. And thank God it wasn't that serious. But it still was a pretty serious issue. And so they pulled some brain fluid out of her spinal stem thing or whatever. And she had, and it was painful, it happening, but she had instant relief as far as the pressure inside of her head was concerned. And so what she was diagnosed with was pseudotumor cerebri. And basically what that is pseudo means fake, tumor means tumor, and cerebri is part of your cerebral cortex in your brain. They figured that out, and they put her on the only medicine that is known to be the fix for this problem. And it was a sulfa drug, which has sulfur in it. Guess what? My wife is allergic to sulfur. So they put her on these pills, and she was vomiting pretty much immediately. And so she couldn't be on those pills. One thing led to another, and they finally got her on some medicine that she has to take daily in order to counteract this stuff. So we took the pills and started going to the gym and things like that. And things were good. Things, as far as our relationship was concerned, our relationship was probably stronger than it ever had been. I have suffered from depression before, and so has she. And she may not agree with that. And I'm not gonna actually put it out there and say that she has. But she has suffered from anxiety and things like that along those same lines, in the same nature. So we were both feeling kind of down, and I was feeling as if I wasn't in the right place in my life. I prayed about it a lot, and whether you believe in prayer or anything like that, that's totally up to you. It's what I believe in, and almost every video you can ever see, I've got this on, and I've never put out there about my beliefs or anything like that, but I feel like prayer helps me, and what I believe in helps me, and never tried to force that on anybody. So anywho, that's what helped me through it. And I started praying a lot about what I needed to do as a person, as a man, as a married man. And I started to change a few things in my life, and I had an epiphany one day where I was saying, like, why is this happening to me? I changed that question from why is this happening to me to what is this trying to teach me? What lesson is this trying to teach me? So I sat down, thought about it, and that is when between the months of January, February, and March of this year, a lot of stuff happened. Not super important stuff, nothing groundbreaking, nothing huge happened, but a lot in my head. All the cogs have been turning, all the wheels have been turning. And I sat down with my wife, and we had talked about it before, so this wasn't news to her, but I said, I think we need to move. And you guys know all about that. We can go back and look at the videos and everything, but all you guys should know that we moved down here to Huntsville, Alabama, which is not far from where we used to live. but it was far enough. And so I sat her down and we talked about moving and everything. And, you know, I don't really have to go into detail about it. It happened. Here we are. But the reason I wanted to do it was because it's not that I loved my old job. Don't get me wrong in that matter at all. And she loved her old job too. But something was just telling me that our place was not where we were. I research the crap out of everything before I, you know, pull the trigger on buying something or wanting something or doing anything. I don't really go into anything with any kind of like creativeness or any idea. I usually do a lot of research and get a solid foundation in my head of what I want to do before I do something. This was not like that. This was a gut feeling, and I could not shake it. It kept me up at night, and I was like, we need to move. We can't stay here. Because I love my hometown, I always will, but that place has just become, every time I go back to like visit family or whatever, I think to myself like, man, I'm really glad we don't live here anymore, because I just feel like it's kind of going downhill. You know, it had its own share of problems, as everywhere does. But I just felt like I felt like I was not going to get anywhere staying there. And I felt the same for my wife. And so as the man of the house, as people would say, I just decided that we needed to pick up our lives and move south. And that's what we did. So here we are. And so you guys know that most of that story, and that's why my videos this year have kind of just been off and on. You know, all at once, she quit her job and got a new job. We put our house up for sale before I got a job. I got hired at a new job. Well, I got an interview at a new job. They hired someone else for the position that I wanted. And so like my self-esteem sunk. It sunk hard. I was stressed out beyond belief. I was freaking out. I didn't want to quit my old job before I had a new job locked down. But I finally got a call from my new boss saying, hey, that guy that we just hired, he didn't work out whatsoever. We would like you in this position. And so, you know, I had a bunch of questions, obviously. I was, you know, why did this happen? And long story short, it wasn't at the fault of the company at all. It was the individual. And so everything worked out for me as I prayed for it to. And so literally, we sold the house I think we closed on it on June the 3rd. And then we lived in a farmhouse that belonged to my brother and sister-in-law for 3 days. Didn't film anything while we were there, but that's what we did. Most of my stuff was in storage anyway, and all this time, you know, we were stuffing stuff in a storage unit pretty close to where we live now, which is pretty funny actually. So it worked out really well. Everything just seemed to fall into place, which is what made it feel so right, you know. And so we lived at this little farmhouse for 3 days, and we were going to close on the house on the 6th. Well, we got a phone call from somebody. I don't know who. I don't know if it was like insurance or the real estate company or whatever. We got a call from someone saying, hey, do you have a job? And I was like, yeah, I got a job. I got a job. I quit this job and I got this new job. Here's my confirmation. They were like, that's great, but if you're not working, we can't give you the loan. So I guess it was the mortgage company. And I was like, oh no. that was my immediate thought. I was just like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, how many flaming hoops do I have to jump through while soaked in gasoline? Like, how does it ever end? And it did end, finally. So I called up my boss, and my start date was supposed to be the following Monday. We closed on the house, on our old house, on the 3rd of June, and I called him and I said, hey, can I start tomorrow? And he's like, sure. and you know, I had to explain this whole situation to him. He goes, you just come in tomorrow, we'll get your orientation you know, pushed through, and we'll get you taken care of, no problem. And I was like, thank you so much. And so I went in and I got my new hire orientation and all this stuff, and I got all this paperwork and information, sent it to the mortgage company, and they were like, oh great, we can give you the money now, thanks. So I worked the 4th and the 5th. Then I had to take off the 6th and the 7th, which was a Thursday and a Friday, so I could close on the house and get moved in. So for me, I felt like I started off on the completely wrong foot with this company, but it has been one of the greatest companies I've ever worked for. It is amazing. I love the job. I honestly, I mean, you know, I've worked at some places with some amazing folks, but being able to be in the position that I'm in with such great people is amazing. Like I couldn't be happier with it, and I don't even know what else to say. I'm at a loss for words. So, and along with all that stuff, I'm really glad that my wife's work kind of went real smooth. Like, she had her interview, she got hired, boom, done. It was pretty simple for her. And being a nurse, you know, she's an extremely valuable person. I feel so replaceable, but at the same time, I also just feel so lucky. Giving myself more value has kind of been my goal. I actually wanted to start a video series on my other channel called The Pursuit of Perfection. And the idea behind that video series for my other channel, the Fralix Arms channel, is that the video series was going to be me getting better training with my pistol and you know, rifles and things like that, just becoming a better, you know, marksman, I guess. But the underlying message of that entire series was going to be me trying to become the best man that I could. And I think a lot of people would probably get the metaphor. Pursuing perfection is great, but you can never get there. And I think that's a really amazing thing. I mean, we're not made to be perfect. We can't be. It's impossible. But trying your best to get there, I feel like that's what everyone should try and do. I feel like everyone should try to do it. It doesn't matter if you flip burgers. It doesn't matter if you're the CEO of a big company. Be the best you that you can be, and everything will work out. And that's my strong, hard opinion. So anyway, all that stuff worked out in our favor, and we've been living here for over 6 months. And you know, a few other things happened here and there. You know, me and my brother-in-law, we started our little motorcycle business. It hasn't really gotten us anywhere yet, but we're getting there. We're trying, and that's the main thing. Just giving it a shot. So we've done a lot of fun stuff this year too. You know, we went to the Dragon. That was exciting. Even though Jason, you know, had his accident. You know, still a fun trip. Still, you know, in the moment, you know, tragedy always makes for good YouTube content, as you can tell from the views on that video. But it also makes for great stories, great memories. Because I can tell you, every car wreck I've ever had, in the moment, yeah, it sucked, but some of the best stories I've got, and people enjoy hearing about them. Same kind of thing for pretty much everything. You know, good stories are great, but bad stories are better usually. It's a good rule of thumb. And so, let's see what else has happened this year. Oh, well, Nathan had his wreck. Totally forgot about that. Well, I didn't totally forget, but you know, a lot of stuff has happened. And you know, he had that wreck right before we moved, you know, and that was kind of hard to deal with. So he's almost fully recovered, and I really need to get him in here to have a story time. I really do. That reminds me, Patrick, Moto Ride, he's coming up in 2 weeks, and we're going to do a couple of videos together. We're going to do a story time. We're going to talk, have a good time. He's one of my oldest buddies. Went to school together, high school and then college. And he's just been around. He's just been, you know, doing his own thing. Even though he lives far away, we talk virtually every day. And he's a good friend, as much of an idiot as he can be, which most of my friends are a bunch of idiots, and I love all of you. So I wouldn't be who I am without all my friends, all my great friends that I have. So what else? Well, if you watched last video, found out that Kenzie's pregnant. So that's super duper cool. So we'll be seeing little Emery in a few months in April. I can't wait to introduce you guys to her. It's fatherhood is something that I've always looked forward to. It's always been a goal of mine. I've never, even at a young age, I thought, you know, one day I'm going to be a dad, and I feel like we have set ourselves up for it really well. And honestly, I think that you know, me praying for all this stuff to happen, I think moving to Huntsville was the last piece of the puzzle for us to be able to have a child. Now, some people may completely disagree and not have that type of faith that I have, but I feel like that's what we were meant to do. And I feel like that if that all of these, you know, blocks had to kind of fall into place, all these puzzle pieces, or however you want to say it, had to happen before we could have a child, because we'd been trying for a long time and it just wasn't happening. And, you know, it's a scary feeling. You know, some people have a baby with no issues, and then some people can't. And we're very blessed. We really are. So, I think to close the video out, well, not really close it out, but getting closer to the end here, I got my first deer yesterday. I don't normally talk about stuff like that on this channel, but just kind of, you know, wrapping up this whole year, before 2020 showed up, I got my first ever deer. I was able to take my rifle and go hunting with my dad, which me and my dad have never hunted before. And I worked very hard. If you go watch my other channel, I have worked very hard to be able to go hunting. And it took me a year to do it. Now, it doesn't take that long. You can get ready for hunting in a day if you've got... Goodness. You can get ready for hunting in a day if you've just got, you know, money to blow. You know, get your camo, get your gun, get your scope, get all that stuff sighted in, get your ammo for hunting, and get your licenses and all that stuff, and find you a place. I mean, you can do it all in a day, but I couldn't do that. It took me literally a year to be able to hunt, to prepare myself to be able to. And I'm very proud. I couldn't be more proud. This year, to wrap it all up, has been amazing. You know, the first 3 months of this year was kind of nerve-wracking. I kind of felt out of place. I have never felt more right in my life. If I had to do it all again, I wouldn't change anything. I like where I am. And me and my wife's relationship is stronger than ever. And I feel like it's going to continue to get stronger. I feel like we have meshed more this year than ever before. Like we just, I mean, I know people say it, we finish each other's sentences. We finish each other's thoughts. I mean, we can, you know, look at each other and say, you know, we're thinking the same thing. You know, when we see something or hear something or whatever, it's just, ooh, it's cool. It's really cool. You know, I wouldn't take back being married for nothing. It's amazing. It really is. Well, it looks like I've talked for about 30 minutes, and this camera is only going to let me record for 30 minutes unless I keep hitting the button. So I'm sure I've missed a few things here and there, you guys, but you know, as far as 2019 goes, to wrap the video up, it's been a fantastic year, and I cannot wait for 2020. And I will do my very best to have some more content put up for you guys. I do have some stuff coming down the pipeline. I do have some stuff recorded that I'm going to be putting on the channel soon. Just bear with me. It's been a very busy time of the year, as you all know. Real quick, so you guys something I got for Christmas. I got the Mighty Car Mods modified edition, the Cars of Mighty Car Mods book. And this is the limited edition, which means it was signed by our good friends, Marty and Moog. And if you go back to some of my very first videos, I tell you guys that Mighty Car Mods is probably my favorite channel on YouTube. So I really appreciate this. It got here just in time for Christmas. That's really cool. That's really cool. Me and my wife decided not to get each other a lot for Christmas this year. And I think a lot of people should do that. You know, me and her being married, we get each other stuff all year long. We really wanted to focus on the giving aspect this year. Even though we couldn't do a lot of that because we got the baby on the way. We had a good time seeing family and things like that. And we survived our family, which is a feat, let me tell you. I'm going to close the video out. Thank you so much for watching. Didn't mean to make it this long, but you know how I am. If you aren't subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. I really do appreciate it. That's it, you guys. Thank you so much, and I'll see you very soon. I promise.